as you can see, here in Ul'dah, there are people who are crowding around one man in particular, and he is going to be leading us into the newest crossover event for Final Fantasy XIV. And for the 4th time, it will be a crossover event with another Final Fantasy. However, we're going to be doing things a little different because this is the new event that has been introduced to us, but something else has also been introduced, and it's just a stone's throw away from where we're standing right now. And for this particular quest that I noticed, I thought it would be better to bring back some old friends. And one old friend in particular will be leading us out tonight. So, as we get ready to go on this journey for the new crossover in Final Fantasy XIV, we have to take care of something else first. But it's something I'm sure that all of you will enjoy very much. So, please welcome back the original Warrior of Light, EDSS, dressed in his Maelstrom uniform and ready to embark on a journey to be able to see things through a different perspective. And for me, this is really an opportunity to bring things full circle because we have now reached the 10-year milestone since I first did my Let's Play of Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn. And because of this particular quest that we're about to start with for the evening, who better than Edie to lead us out? So, with all that in mind, greetings people of the world, Louisoix Griffin back with you for the continuation of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. So, as we prepare to leave this guy alone for the time being, because yeah, you can see all the people that want to talk to him, let's go over to someone who's not getting as much love, but someone who definitely deserves more. This is the Naji here, and he's standing in front of the Hall of Flames, the HQ of the Immortal Flames here in Ul'dah. And so, it is he who we will be opening things with tonight. Also, hey there Luna, welcome to the stream, glad to have you with us. So, let's get things started here tonight by speaking with Nanaji to take on the level 50 quest entitled Remembering the Past. Nanaji appears to be in deep thoughts.
The determined set of your jaw, the dynamic presence, as if you're ready to leap into action. There's no mistake, you're an adventurer and a dependable one at that. Tell me, are you familiar with the name Louisoix?
Indeed I am, yeah. I've never heard of him. That's ludicrous.
Oh, of course you are. Of course you are. Forgive my suddenness. I am the Naji Nanoji, a budding writer, and I seek to pen a biography of the great man. In particular, I wish to cover his movements leading up to the Calamity, and to that end I've requested an interview with the Immortal Flames. He served the Eorzean Alliance as a tactician, you see, so there ought to be someone in the Order who had dealings with him. And while my request has been thankfully accepted, there's just one problem. I don't have much experience conducting interviews, and I'm worried whether I'll be able to do a proper job. As an adventurer, you're doubtless used to dealing with people, thus I would like to ask you to accompany me in the capacity of an assistant. It would be tremendously reassuring to simply have you watching on. And if you're amenable afterwards, I'd like to interview you as well for your own impressions. For your troubles, I'll be certain to credit you as a collaborator, so please, won't you help me with my biography, that the memories of the Calamity might be preserved for future generations?
I can certainly do that.
I am in your debt! To begin with, please come with me to Camp Drybone in Eastern Thanlin. It's a place I'd like to visit ahead of the interview.
Alright, and we will see you there, Nanaji. So, let's make our way over there right now. Alright, so now that we've arrived here at Camp Drybone, let's go ahead and speak with the Nanaji.
There you are! To explain why we're here... Oh, but I haven't even asked you your name! How am I supposed to credit you if I don't even know that much?
Well, allow me to introduce myself.
EDSS? The EDSS? Champion of Eorzea? Small wonder I felt you were dependable. With one such as you helping me, everything will surely go well. But getting back to business, the interview I've arranged is with an officer of the Immortal Flames. As Because there's still time, however, I thought we'd pay a visit to the nearby graveyard first, so I can explain my motivation for the biography.
Alright, so that means we're going back to a place we know all too well. The Lich Yard at Saint Adama Landama, where we first met Sid.
I come from a small village near the Cardinal Flats. It was burned down in the calamity, and those who died were laid to rest here, my parents among them.
Oh, that's not good.
It's hardly an uncommon tale. After the dread Primal emerged from Dalamud, he unleashed fiery devastation across the length and breadth of Eorzea. But as much as the calamity has scarred the realm, it is quickly becoming just another event in the history books.
Yeah, it has been, canonically speaking, 5 years, but as far as the game is concerned, and as far as we've been around, it's now over 10.
Beyond occasionally giving thanks to the Archons that Eorzea was saved, people spare it little thought. But when you've lost so many loved ones, it's hard to feel that anything was saved. That's why I wish to know more about Louisoix. By learning about his part in Eorzea's salvation, I hope that I will retain closure. That's my motivation for writing the biography.
Well, at least we know you have a purpose.
Now then, in preparation for the interview, let's review what is known about our subjects. It's difficult to define exactly when the Seventh Temple Calamity was set in motion. Many historians, however, point to the Empire's Meteor Project, which sought to bring Dalamud down upon Eorzea.
And so yeah, as he describes this, we get something that is kind of a nod to how you start Final Fantasy XIV on a brand new file, because each of these posters effectively serves as a recollection of the closing of what the narrator is saying about each city-state as you enter it. So, from left to right, when the narrator will say if you're entering Ul'dah, "By fire we are reborn," and it says that for the Immortal Flames in Ul'dah. In the middle, we have for the Order of the Twin Adder in Gridania the words Serenity, Purity, Sanctity, which are also said by the Elder Seed Seer during the Remembrance Ceremony, which is where we also met Alphinaud and Alistair for the first time. And finally on the right side, we have the iconic Till Sea Swallows All, representing Lim-Solomince's Maelstrom.
It was the year 1562 of the 6th Astral Era. Seeking to combat the Imperial threat, Louisoix founded the Circle of Knowing, an order whose objective was the preservation of Eorzea. Through its members, the Archons of Sharlayan, the Circle worked to unite the nations of Eorzea in common cause. The result was the formation of the Grand Companies in the 3 city-states, the Immortal Flames, the Order of the Twin Adder, and the Maelstrom. None of these would exist now were it not for their efforts.
And also, for those who have been following me for the entire duration of this Let's Play into Endwalker, you might recognize that there are no soldiers in the Gridanian poster. The figure being represented there is Nafika.
And then, in the year 1572, when the situation was coming to a head, Louisoix himself made the journey to Eorzea in secret and engaged with each of the nations. What took place during that time is what I seek to learn in the interview. The man we're due to meet is the contact for the Free Brigade, a unit formed of adventurers, and he apparently had Louisoix's assistance for a mission. Alright. The meeting place is Highbridge to the northeast. It's more or less time now, so let's make our way there.
You got it. So yeah, that means we have to go to a place that we've been to a few times in main story quests. So, upon our arrival here in the Highbridge area, let's go ahead and bide our time and wait for our man. As we look upon the crystal shards of the burning wall. Here he is, a soldier representing the Immortal Flames. You're the ones who seek an interview. I must say, I wasn't expecting to see the champion of Eorzea.
I'm the Naji no Naji, the writer who made the request, and Edie is kindly accompanying me for the interview. I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your busy schedule to humor me.
Come now, no need for thanks. Like everyone, I hold Louisoix in the highest esteem. If you wish to know about him, Holland Aubrey is always glad to oblige. As he takes his courteous bow, I wave hello to him, and of course, a Grand Company soldier will salute as they normally do.
Without further ado, then let us begin. My understanding is that you had dealings with Louisoix. Could you please tell me the details?
As you know, our Grand Companies were formed thanks to the Circle of Knowing, but it wasn't until Dolmu began turning red that Louisoix first appeared. Also, Luna, is everything sounding okay? Am I not sounding too loud or too quiet? It began with the word that an elderly Elezen man had come to Gudonia who held the key to vanquishing primals. Upon learning of this, I sent an adventurer of the Free Brigade to make contact with him. I later learned that the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder had done the very same. At that time, our companies weren't yet collaborating, each one only thought to stay ahead of the others. If truth be told, at first we didn't think much of Louisoix, only that he was the leader of scholars who studied peculiar prophecies. But when the adventurer reported back, our opinion of the man completely changed. Oh, thanks, Luna. Also, happy birthday. With his spellcraft, Louisoix had opened the way into Ifrit's domain, and by the hand of dauntless adventurers, the Lord of the Inferno was brought low. Alas, many defeats preceded that victory. It was reported that countless charred corpses laid strewn in the bowl of embers. Now, the mission also yielded a shocking revelation. But by this particular individual. Following the battle, Legatus Neil Van Darnus of the 7th Imperial Legion appeared and told the adventurer that the hour of reckoning was at hand, that Dolmud would soon fall and cleanse the land. Backed by a whole legion behind him. That was when we realized that the Empire was behind the Red Moon's anomaly. Yeah, and for whatever reason, and this is really weird, Nail is presented as a male in this story. But for whatever reason, in other situations, including when we're fighting the Ruby Weapon, Nail is presented as a woman. So I don't know why Square Enix decided to retcon that. But yeah, Nanaji with pen and quill and paper in hand.
So thanks to Louisoix, you came to be aware of the Meteor Project. Still, it doesn't seem like you had much to act upon.
As you say, afterwards we scrambled to learn all we could about the project. For a blessing, we had the cooperation of Guardian Defector, Sid Garland, whom you know well. We certainly do. He revealed the details of the project, that it utilized the transmission tower to pluck Dolomud from the heavens, all for the purpose of purging us savages from the realm. Yeah, that's a painful title we know all too well. I could continue telling you what I know, but from this point on, there is someone better suited than I am. If you are interested, I'd be glad to introduce you to this individual. What say you?
Well now, we'd be keen to speak with this person indeed.
Very well, I will send word to the Ada's Nest. If you could take yourselves to Opkalu Falls, I will arrange for a meeting there.
To go to such lengths to help us, I can't say how grateful I am.
Yeah, thank you very much there, Lieutenant Aubrey. Do not mention it. As I said, I hold Louisoix in the highest esteem. He was the one who brought our three nations together, and nothing would please me more than for him to be remembered. Well, it's past time I return to Uldar. I pray that the coming interview bears you fruit. Take care there, sir. Off he goes with sword and little mini shield in hand.
The lieutenant certainly has great respect for Louisoix. And thanks to him, we have another promising interview. Come, let's head to Gridania where the Archon had sojourned.
I will see you there. Yeah, for him it'll be walking across through quite a bit of the Black Shroud, but we can simply rendezvous with him in Gridania, so let's make our way there now. That is one spot for the Final Fantasy XVI crossover, and the other one is over here, but Nananji is separated from everyone else. So let's go and speak with him.
So this is Abkalu Falls. The conspicuous lack of the creatures aside, it's quite a beautiful place. Now then, the person we're to meet should be along shortly.
So as we chat in the driving rain, that just won't stop. Here comes a soldier from the Twin Adder. I was told that there were those who wished to learn about Louisoix, and who should one of them be but the champion of Eorzea? Well met, I'm Lieutenant Cyril Folk of the Order of the Twin Adder. And it's nice to meet you, sir. He'll of course salute us with a classic double arm salute.
Nananji at your service. Thank you for sparing the time to speak with us.
Think nothing of it. I must say, though, that Lieutenant Aubrey chose the perfect spot for the subject matter. Oh, did he? And yeah, Nananji's like, go on. Louisoix spent much time in rumination here in the days before the calamity. We Gridanians being somewhat reserved by nature, at first, the citizens kept their distance. Yeah, let's have a look and walk around the crowds. See Amitra and Jonathas chilling out at their usual spots. But in time, people warmed to him. He patiently lent an ear to their troubles, healing hurts and offering counsel, and gradually earned their trust. To ignore the plight of those one might conceivably save is not wisdom, it is indolence. A saying we know all too well courtesy of Alisay. Louisoix spoke those words and lived up to them. He was the epitome of a Sharlayan sage, and I recall myself being moved. Now, shortly after we had become aware of the Meteor Project, the hamlet of Kroimil was attacked by the Primal Garuda. Both soldiers and civilians were among the casualties. And that's when he gets a determined look on his face. Yeah, there she is. The Order of the Twin Adder moved to vanquish the Primal, but we were not alone. Through Louisoix's meditation, we had the support of not only our sister Grand Companies, but capable adventurers the realm over besides. Using an artifact known as the Vortex Feather, the Archon opened the way for a band of adventurers to sally forth into Garuda's turbulent domain, where they failed the fearsome being. And how fearsome she is. Yeah, hope that Nananji switched to parchments to deal with writing in the rain. Upon her defeat, however, the Primal Aether dispersed Aether did not return to the land. Instead, it was absorbed into the Red Moon Dolomud. And when the Empire constructed a new base in Waldona, the Elder Seedseer saw the need for decisive action and put forth a proposal. The formal reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, which had for so long lain dormant. The initial response from the other nations was lukewarm at best. They felt that the burden to be borne by each party was excessive, and they were loath to do aught that would place them at a disadvantage against their rivals. But as we can see in time, that changed. But the revelation that a lunar transmitter had been erected in the Imperial base prompted a change of heart. The tower controlled Dalamu's descent. If it could be destroyed, then the Meteor project would be forestalled. After having been constantly on the back foot, our nations were motivated to join hands, that we might strike a decisive blow against the enemy. Thus was the Eorzean alliance formed, as the Circle of Knowing had hoped. And so, at the same juncture, Louisoix was asked to join the alliance as a tactician, and in that capacity, he provided sage counsel to our heads of states.
So, although he is at first treated with wariness, Louisoix earned our trust through his actions and paved the way to enduring cooperation between our nations.
Indeed, were it not for him, we would all perish divided. We owe Louisoix a great debt. Now then, I expect you might be interested in hearing about the operation to destroy the lunar transmitter. But for that tale, I would recommend you seek out another, a decorated soldier who actually took part in the operation. Although a hardened warrior, she is quite friendly, and should be glad to regale you with her experiences. Shall I send a word on your behalf?
We'd be duly grateful.
Very well. If you could take yourselves to Maelstrom Commander Nimson Minsa, I shall see to it that she knows to expect you. With that, I shall take my leave. I pray that the biography is a success. So, away goes Lieutenant Falk.
Everyone has been more helpful than I dared to hope. It seems Louisoix had quite an influence on others.
He certainly did. But who can really say?
That interview gave us some valuable insights into his character, and I'm eager to see what we'll learn in the next. Come, let's head to Limsalaminsa!
Which means that Edie returns to his grand company home. So as everyone continues on with the 16 crossover, which we'll get to later, let's go back to Limsalaminsa. Okay, so yeah, Nanaji chilling out here in front of the bridge to Maelstrom Command.
And there it is, Maelstrom Command. Shall we then?
So for the previous two representatives from the Grand Companies, those are characters that we've never seen before. This one, though, we have. Storm Commander Rashat Riki has been in the canon for around Reborn, especially when we began the process to deal with Titan.
Lieutenant Assess, ever a sight for sore eyes. And you must be Nanonji. Rashat Riki at your service. I understand you wish to hear about the operation to destroy the lunar transmitter. Indeed. I'm penning a biography of the Archon Louisoix, you see, for which I'm interviewing people who had dealings with him. I truly appreciate your time. You're very welcome. I'll be glad to assist even if it wasn't a request from Lieutenant Falk.
As he bows like he does, and of course, Edie has to do a Grand Company salute to his superior officer.
Now then, to continue where he left off. It was shortly after the Eorzean alliance was formed. Our scouts returned with word that the 7th Legion had activated the lunar transmitter in their fortress in Moderna. Now known as Costrum Sentry, the fortresses were originally called Costrum Novum before the 14th restored and renamed it. It was in order to break through its defenses and destroy the transmitter that our three nations joined hands, and we were determined to succeed. The strategy that Louisoix proposed was elegant in its simplicity. While our main force drew the Garlean's attention with an all-out siege, an elite band of adventurers would infiltrate the Castrum and make for our objective.
As she will recall, in fact, she even fought alongside them.
We had entrusted our adventurers with ridding us of the primals. Now we entrusted them with the very fate of Eorzea. I still remember the operation as if it were yesterday. Though we met with fierce resistance, we fought more fiercely still. No matter the cost, we had to ensure that the adventurers had a chance to strike at the transmitter. And when the messenger arrived bearing word that they had succeeded, it still makes my heart sore to recall that moment of triumph.
Yeah, no doubt she was determined to see it through.
That day, we learned that by standing together, the people of Eorzea could oppose even the might of the Empire. 'Tis no exaggeration to say that the victory paved the way for Eorzea's future. Without it, there would not have been our Operation Archon. Alas, it wasn't all glad tidings, for though we destroyed the transmitter, Neil Vandanis appeared and claimed that he no longer needed the device to bring down Dolomud, that he himself had the power to do so.
Yikes. And there he is.
So long as Vandanis lived, the threat of destruction remained, and so, branding him an enemy to all life in Eorzea, the nations of the Alliance undertook a desperate manhunt. At length, they located him in Caerphas and sent the greatest warriors to hunt him down. Leading that formidable band was the adventurer whom they called the Warrior of Light, and though no records remain of the fierce encounter, one thing is certain. At battle's conclusion, Neil Vandanis was brought low.
Oh, hey there, Antonius. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us tonight.
As you know, however, our roads did not end with the White Raven, for Louisoix and his disciples determined that Dolomud would continue to fall. In a last-ditch bid to prevent the realm's annihilation, the Circle of Knowing issued a request to the Eorzean Alliance to secure the Caltino Flats, where the Red Moon was expected to crash. 'Twas no simple task, for the entirety of the 7th Legion had amassed in Caltino, but it was necessary in order to perform a ritual to stop Dolomud, a ritual that invoked the power of the 12. So it was that the Battle of Caltino was joined, and I dare say you know how the tale continues. To everyone's shock, the Elder Primal Bahamut emerged from Dolomud and proceeded to unleash his fury upon the realm. Aye, and though all bore witness as Louisoix initiated the ritual, none remember what came to pass afterwards, neither what happened to Bahamut, or why the realm was reborn.
Well, I guess you'll have to take that up with Square Enix, won't you?
The haze had afflicted memories of the calamity, but people remember events prior to that moment, yes? If so, do you know if anyone was near Louisoix during the battle? Someone who may have spoken with him?
Yeah. Anything come to mind there, Shot?
If someone was near him, I'm afraid I do not know. He was atop rise for the ritual while I was a good distance away on the front lines. My apologies. No, please don't apologize. You've shot a wealth of information, and I couldn't ask for more. Well, if you're satisfied, then so am I. With that, I shall return to my duties. I look forward to reading the biography when it's finished.
Thank you very much there, Commander, for all your help. Oh, Luna. Jeez, why didn't you mention that before? Alright, so we conclude this quest by speaking with Nanaji again.
Now, I have a grasp of events leading up to the calamity, and yet...
And yet what?
Oh, forgive me, I was deep in thought. In no small part due to your help, I managed to learn a great deal. But there's still more that I wish to know. Might I trouble you to accompany me a little longer? If you're willing, please let me know.
So, yeah, there will be more of this quest, so for completing this quest, we get 13,455 experience points and 770 gil. Yeah, get well soon there, Luna. Make sure that you do. Alright, let's continue on now and speak with Nanaji again to take on the second part of our quest here at level 50, entitled Preserving the Future. Nanaji desires more information for Louisoix's biography.
You'll continue accompanying me then? Wonderful! Come, let's head to the Drowning Mines to discuss our next move.
And I can't help but wonder if that person who is AFK changed their name recently to honor Toriyama. So as we're discussing things,
Our research proceeds apace so far. We've even learned things not found in literature. But tell me, based on what you've heard from our interviewees, what is your opinion of Louisoix?
that he was an exceptional leader, he had a difficult task, or others deserve more credit, but yeah, I would say that he was an exceptional leader.
I agree. He possessed great leadership. If not, he couldn't have established the framework to realize his plans, no matter how brilliant they may have been. What struck me was how grateful the interviewees were to Louisoix for bringing their nations together in cooperation. It was nothing short of necessary for our survival. Yet in knowing this, I can't help but wonder, in his capacity as a tactician, it seems to me he had done more than enough by devising a plan and facilitating its execution. He went far beyond that, risking life and limb on the front lines for a land not his own. Perhaps he needed to be there for the ritual. Perhaps he felt a sense of duty. Even so, as noble as it is to desire to help others, what good is it if you end up sacrificing yourself? What was it that compelled Louisoix to go to Cartonel, and what went through his mind as the battle unfolded? In order to do his biography justice, I feel I need to know these things.
So yeah, how can we help you with that?
If Louisoix had people near him at the time, perhaps he shared words with them in his final moments, words that could provide some insights. But where to begin searching for such individuals, assuming they exist?
Yeah, let's ponder this. As Baderon, the proprietor of the Drowning Wench, comes in and pays us a visit. Sorry friends, but I couldn't help but overhear your conversation. Just so happens I know a bloke has served among Louisoix's guard at Cartonel. Oh, do you? You have a lot of contacts there, Baderon.
Truly? You know someone who was with him?
Oh, and as far as I'm aware, he wasn't keeping the fact a secret, just for good measure though. Why do you wants to speak with him? Yeah, so allow Nanaji to explain why he's doing this. Louisoix's biography, eh? In that case, I reckon the bloke will be willing to cooperate. Owen Greencombe is his name, and he was a lieutenant of the Maelstrom. After the calamity, he turned to adventure and souls to be a greater help to the common folk.
A Maelstrom officer turned adventurer. We'd be most keen to speak with him. Where might he be found?
When Owen dropped in the other day, he said that he had business at the Morabe Dry Docks. If you're lucky, he might be still there.
Understood. We're in your debt.
Maybe not too much.
We can't let this chance pass us by, Edie. Let's take ourselves to the dry docks at once.
Alright then. Thank you very much there, Baderon. And so let's be on our way. Alright, so yeah, looks like quite a few people are wandering around, maybe for the same reason, can't really say. So let's go ahead and speak with the Nanaji.
Right, where could Owen be? In hindsight, we should have asked what he looks like. His name would suggest he's a Midlander, but well, nothing for it but to make inquiries. Let's split up with the task and meet again here.
Alright. Let's go find some people who can be possible to give us a hand here. Nearby we have a shopkeep who we can speak to. A female Lalafell.
I'm sorry, but I only just started helping out here. I'm still learning our customers' names. I couldn't say if it's the person you're after, but a man did come by earlier who appeared to be an adventurer. He bought a Nimia lily that we're currently trailing.
Nimia lily, huh? That's, for those not familiar, a flower commonly used when paying respects to someone who's dead. So let's see who else could help us out. There is someone Around here, this veteran shipwright, another Lalafell. Hello there.
Looking for an Orin Gwynkom, you say? Don't know anyone by that name, I'm afraid. I did walk by an unfamiliar fellow just now, though. Over by the Mark of the Spinner. He had a flower in his hand, so he caught my eye.
Well, that's a good clue. And then, in a break from Lalafells, we go to the complete opposite direction with this Rogadin Porter, who perhaps we shouldn't be surprised that a big, strong guy like him is lugging around a crate. Hopefully you don't hit me in the head with that. Owen! As it happens, I spoke with him just earlier. He said that he wanted to buy flowers, so I directed him to a vendor. Not sure where he is as of now, though. But we found out earlier, so you have an inkling as to where Orn might be. Time to rejoin the Nanji. Yeah, do not hit me in the head with that crate. So Nanaji is conveniently right over here.
There you are, Edie. Were you able to learn anything?
Indeed I did.
So a man who could be Orin bought a Nimia Lily, then went to the Mark of the Spinner. If we hurry there, we might be able to find him. Let's go!
Alright, so we do see the Mark of the Spinner, where we're going to be stopping, so, yeah, of course, this is one of the many places we come to whenever you're beginning the process to take the Ceremony of Eternal Bonding. Let's go ahead and wait here for a while to see if our man shows up. As the lighthouse does its thing on the horizon, and we see some of the beautiful islands. Yeah, hey there, Nimia. Hopefully we haven't missed him. But, turns out, he may be coming to us. Hello there.
Begging your pardon, sir, but are you Lieutenant Orin Gwynkom?
I haven't been a lieutenant for years, but that's me. What can I do for you? Yeah, also he knows it's me. Like, hopefully I'm not giving you too much trouble.
I realize this is sudden, but...
Yeah, let's explain why we're here. So as we get closer to dawn. So you're writing Louisoix's biography and you want to hear my account as someone who is near on hand at Cartano. Anything you can tell us? To the Warrior of Light? To the OG? There must be a reason that you're here too. The Warrior of Light who led us to victory in Operation Archon. Very well, I will tell you my tale. Now then, where to begin? Yeah, take your time. As you see memories of the clash at Cartano. As you know, the battle was fought over the land where Dolmud was expected to fall. In the beginning, neither side was able to gain the upper hand, but when the Imperials deployed their Magitech armor, our ranks were thrown into disarray. Yeah, kinda hard to beat something like that. Those charged with protecting Louisoix, like me, could only watch the carnage from afar, and though our forces managed to hold out thanks to the adventurer contingent, we sustained grievous casualties. But the real tragedy was what followed. As Dolmud hurtled towards us, it began shedding fragments of itself before finally bursting open to unleash the primal Bahamut. And there it is. As all below looked on in shock, the battle completely forgotten, Bahamut took wing and spewed fire all over the land. Men and Magitech armor alike were set ablaze and sent flying like so many insects. I only realized that I had stopped breathing when a commanding voice broke my trance. You've done enough, Louisoix told us. Now fly! Fly and save yourselves! But like my fellow guards, I wanted to remain. I couldn't charge into battle beside my comrades. At the very least, I would do my duty here and protect Louisoix to the last. But upon seeing us standing there, not making to move, Louisoix smiled and spoke thus. If you would give your lives to protect something, then protect my hopes. Every soul who lives to determine their own fate is a source of hope, bright and brilliant. So live, I bid you, and be among those who bear the light for others to follow. Those words awakened to us a greater purpose. If there was hope in my living, then I would live as Louisoix bid. No matter what, I would survive. And so, together with my fellows, I began making my retreat. Alas, we hadn't gotten far when an explosion erupted and sent us sprawling. Yeah, the shockwave would have been significant. I struggled to my feet just in time to see the enormous, menacing silhouette of Bahamut looming over Louisoix. In the next instant, he was enveloped in light, and that was the last I remember of him. And thus he faded into history. And perfectly timed on sunrise.
Louisoix's final moments.
Amidst that light, he looked to be smiling. What he was thinking in that moment I couldn't say, but one thing is certain. All of us are alive, thanks to him. And not exactly very grammatically correct line there.
Following the calamity, it was reported that Louisoix had defeated Bahamut and set about the land's miraculous regeneration. Do you believe this is the truth?
Yeah, it seems he does. You have a lot to think about.
Every soul who lives to determine their own fate is a source of hope.
Yeah, including me.
What we've learned has reaffirmed my belief, Edie. The belief that Louisoix was not an all-powerful savior one reads about in tales, but merely an ordinary man.
Well, that would be putting it lightly.
But that man never forsook Eorzea. No, he stood for this realm to the last. He and countless other brave souls, and saved it from becoming a scorched waste. Against unimaginable adversity he fought, and at the cost of his life, paved the way for a brighter future for us all. The least I can do in return is tell his story, spread his message that where there is life, there is hope.
Well said. And so,
thanks to your account, I believe I found an angle for the biography. I'm truly grateful.
And he's certainly glad to have contributed. And now for the reason he's here. To present a Nimia Lily to Nimia the Spinner herself. Would you care to offer a prayer as well? The prayer that the light of hope, which Louisoix preserved, shall ever burn bright. Yeah, I think that would be a very good idea. And so, let's all do it together. And so, Nanaji, back to you.
Allow me to thank you again for recounting your experiences to us.
Nay, 'tis I who owe you thanks for giving me the chance to share Louisoix's words. All these years I had avoided speaking of the moment of his passing out of respect, but it were not due to take the tale to my grave. Through the biography, it is my hope that his spirit will live on in all of us. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I shall resume my pilgrimage to the marks. Wherever your travels take you, I shall be praying for your safety.
Now with that, Nimia lilies, the symbol of safe passage. As Louisoix stood there in Cardinal, I wonder if he likewise prayed for someone's safety.
Probably his family.
At any rate, these interviews have yielded everything I'd hoped for and more. Come, let's return to Ul'dah. I'll have your reward for you at Ul'dah at the Hall of Flames.
And we will see you there. Still, back to where it all began in Ul'dah. Ah, there he is. Alright, Nananji, let's close things out.
There you are. I ended up troubling you longer than I had intended, but it was a truly fruitful series of interviews. How fortunate that we could hear from those who lived that fateful time. While I still have many questions, the biography is beginning to take shape in my mind. I also feel as though I've attained a measure of closure.
Yeah, that is what you were looking for at the start, wasn't it?
Louisoix fought simply as one of us, and he made the ultimate sacrifice that hope might endure. This I've come to realize and appreciate thanks to everyone's heartfelt testimonies. Now then, last but not least, I'd like to ask you for your thoughts on something. According to Orin, Louisoix smiled in his final moments. As he was enveloped in light, what do you imagine he held in his mind?
Yeah, was it the image of mankind thriving in the future, or is it pointless to speculate on such things? But no, we want to be the optimist here.
I see. I appreciate your thoughts. As I pen the biography, I'll be certain to remember your words. Well, sad though it is, it's time for us to part ways. I'll set to work on a draft, and I won't rest until the biography goes to print. Thank you for all your help, my friend. I couldn't have come this far without you.
And we're certainly glad we could help you there, Nanaji. So, you don't have to wait until you made it all the way to the end of Endwalker to get this quest. You can get this quest once you've beaten A Realm Reborn 2.0. So, once you've done that, you can start taking this pair of quests and get the rewards that come with it. So for completing part 2 of this quest and this particular storyline, we'll take our 13,455 experience points, 827 gil, plus we also get the End of an Era Framers Kits. Take care, Nanaji. It was nice to meet you. And we also earned the achievements, The Man, The Myth, The Legend. And deservedly so. Yeah, a guy who we will never see in the canon of this game, because he's permanently encased in 1.0 and he's never coming out. But that's not all we get. When we also get the achievement for doing this, hopefully we'll get the load. Yeah, so yeah, there you see what we get out of that. So yeah, I was thinking of something else, but no. This is what we get for the achievements, and deservedly so. So that was the first new addition to Final Fantasy XIV tonight, but of course, we all know that something else has to be taken care of as well. And for that, we are going to thank Edie for his work, but it's time to pass the torch on to someone else.